Chicago, a city in splendor and whose industrial fever attracts all kinds of investors. In the same way, when industry moved into the city, the labor force came to the city and thus, the cheapest black labor was dominant at the time. Thus were born the working class neighborhoods with an African American majority. Neighborhoods where the most basic supplies were conspicuous by their absence and where the police threatened the residents with almost total impunity. Some of them, however, tried to silence the oppressive voice.
In this whole wide world, to stop the Black Panther Party.
Fred Hampton stood as the embryo of an eminent black and socialist revolution. However, neither the FBI nor the mayor of Chicago looked favorably on the rise of the newborn Rainbow Coalition.
That an order be issued immediately under his signature to shoot to kill any arsonist.
However, while the mayor was clearly showing his segregationist will in front of the media, the FBI was plotting a web of discrediting, coercion, and assassinations in order to discredit and destroy the movement. An internal memorandum made the following points. 1. Prevent the coalition of militant black nationalist groups. And 2. Prevent the rise of a messiah.
We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary.
However, the FBI would need help in fulfilling the second point of the memorandum in order to get rid of Hampton. And this is where William ONeal, who would later become Hampton's head of security, emerges.
Camera roll 3088, sound roll 341.
It was in probably 1967. I was with a guy one night, a friend of mine, and we were drinking beer and we decided to go joyride. And we jumped in a car and stole it. And we were driving around the city of Chicago for 45 minutes and decided to leave the state. We had an accident out of state. And prior to the accident, we had walked in a pool hall and was shooting pool, and at the door you had to register your phone number and address, and we wrote down our names and phone numbers, then went in and shot a game of pool, and then came out and had an accident. We fled the accident on foot. About 3-4 months later, I got a call from this FBI agent by the name of Roy Mitchell.
ONeal was faced with the choice of either being imprisoned for several years or going undercover with the Black Panthers and gaining Hampton's trust, all under the duress of FBI agent Roy Mitchell.
Well, it didn't really hit me then. It hit me after I walked into that house. It was cold and it was blood everywhere and it was holes in the wall, and then I was, I just began to realize that the information that I had supplied leading up to that moment had facilitated that raid. I knew that indirectly I had contributed, and I felt it, and I felt bad about it. And then I got mad.
ONeal took it upon himself to provide the plans of Hampton's flat, as well as to put him out of action with a sedative. Now, was ONeal to blame for everything that happened, including the murder of Fred Hampton?
To the right of the door. I put my head down enough so I could hear if there was any conversation in the building.
I didn't feel like I had done anything. I didn't walk in there with guns. I didn't shoot him. FBI didn't do it. I felt somewhat like I was betrayed. I felt like if anyone should have known it was going to be a raid that morning, I should have known also. I felt like I could have been caught in that raid. I was there that night, And I felt like if I had laid down, I probably would have been a victim. So I felt betrayed. I felt like I was expendable. Stop the camera a minute, please.
Hours after the interview, ONeal went to his uncle Ben Hurt's flat and later ran out of the flat onto the highway when he was hit by a car.